Welcome to Making It East PENN Edition! I'm Sarah.
And I'm Angie.
That's not right. Yeah. I'm Angie.
And I'm Sarah. We searched far and wide for some of the best artists the world has to offer. Thousands of applicants, and only 5 of the best were chosen, all conveniently located in the East Penn area.
5 weeks. 5 challenges.
1 winner.
Animal feet, animal feet.
I love that.
And
It's animal feet.
animal feet.
This was the one that we were most excited for too, so like
Yes.
Sarah was excited.
Okay, so animal feet, super excited. I think this is the one that we are most excited about all across the board because animals have weird feet. So first thought was guinea pig, because guinea pig have really weird feet. They do. They're like hairy and scaly all at the same time. But trying to find a picture of guinea pig feet, not as easy as it looks.
Animal feet? People were really excited. I have no idea what I want to do. All I know is I want to make a great painting.
When I first read the challenges, I thought, ooh, animal feet. I love that. I like the idea of the textures and making something. And then when I read them closer, and after this past week's experience where the judges were really looking for creativity, I thought, no, I don't want to actually sculpt a pair of animal feet.
And then it came time to work on animal feet. But I got nothing. I don't find this challenge very inspiring. I'm not sure where to start. So I did a bunch of other stuff instead. And this is what I do when I can't think of ideas. Well, one might call it procrastinating, but I don't. I call it following my momentum. I try to think of what I would tell my students, and I would probably tell them to make a mind map. And that just kind of makes me angry at myself.
So I started thinking, okay, so which direction could I head? Animal feet, thinking about nature, maybe doing something, edible or environmental. And then as I was drifting off to sleep, epiphany. I was thinking about my kids and how they play with these little plastic animals. And I was thinking maybe I could make footprints somehow with their plastic animals. And it has been decided. I'm going to make a children's book.
So I was just writing down a bunch of different ideas of animal feet and just thinking about different techniques that I could use. So owl legs and led me to bat feet, and then bat feet led me to claws and clinging and sloth. And I didn't want anything with scales. So like geckos are super cool, but they have a lot of scales. And chameleons are really awesome, but again, it's all these little tiny scales that would be really annoying.
Do I really want to make a mind map? Is that going to help me? We'll see.
#killing it.
Okay, so I just woke up, but I had a childhood memory that came back to me because of the animal foot prompt. When I was young, and I think it's mostly when I lived in Louisiana and Texas, so it might be a southern thing or it might be a thing that was all over the United States. But when you went traveling and when you went to tourist attractions, there was gift shops there that sold keychains that were rabbit foots. They were rabbit foot keychains, and I think they were meant to bring you good luck.
So then this led me to the idea of, what's the purpose of feet? Okay, yes,
You don't see something like that every day.
For some animals, it's a mode of defense, but really, like, I wanted to go a little above and beyond the normal. I think that's what this calls for. So we have swimming, clinging, catching, holding, climbing. So that led me to add ducks or water birds and mountain goats. So really, in conclusion here, I ended up going with the two most interesting. The water bird, so swimming feet, or clinging feet that really show the purpose and more about the animal. But I'm a needle felter. This is my thing. So I love needle felting. I love creating texture and value in wool. You can't get me to want to do anything else.
Regina and Ginger, you might not know this, but I have a series of work going on right now, and it's called Abstracted Memories. And basically they're just things that come in my head about my childhood memories that have personal meaning to me. And this is one of the first paintings that I had that is based on Oil of Olay. Oh, this one was about that banana seat that I got, that blue bike that I got when I was living in Texas. This one was in kindergarten. I had a Holly hobby lunchbox that I loved. And this one is me superimposed with Wonder Woman.
I don't have experience writing a children's book. I've read a ton of children's books. Obviously, I'm going to make the children's book something to do with animal feet. So I began by doing some research, looking up children's illustrators, trying to kind of find what I thought my style would be.
Still struggling with this one. Not a fan of this prompt. I have been kicking and screaming about it all week. Been a rather fussy little artist this week. And I actually made 2 mind maps. Look at this girl. Crushing it. So my first mind map led me to I made a few categories. It was like animals that I've encountered. Then I had my favorite and least favorite animals, dogs, cats, and otters. No least favorite animals, by the way. Didn't really feel anything there. And then I hit upon something that is going to be my direction for this project, which is animals that I eat. Okay, so I'm always going to go the route of food.
Right now, I'm taking my drawing that I was inspired by this image and going over it in Sharpie so that when I put the fabric over it, I can see the lines through.
All right, so here's my painting set up. I have a base coat on, my Texas Lone Star and Target. So I thought I would add the rabbit foot on, the rabbit feet. Why can't I say that properly? Just kind of
Brushstrokes of a goddess.
With my paintbrush at first, working on placement.
If you want to be a better artist, be willing to put yourself out there. When I say put yourself out there, show your work to people, ask their opinions, ask what questions they have, listen to your children tell you that your drawing of a lizard looks like a pickle, and figure out what you can do to improve upon it. Be part of an artist community and take their suggestions and input seriously.
Do I like procrastinating? No, I don't really.
Are you sure about that?
Feeling right now. It is 6 p.m. on Thursday. This assignment is due in 6 hours, and all I've done is taped a paper to a board. That's not totally true. I also kind of planned a composition, but I am not as far along as I'd like. And I think I finally have an idea. I'm going to do a nose and tail pattern as a background with some pigfoot paintings in the foreground. I was brainstorming with different thumbnail compositions here. So I finally have a plan. Now we just have to see if I can execute it in the time that I have left, which is not much. Spent too long coming up with an idea.
So I started my needle felting, and you can see that I've got the sloth arms, and they're like claws, nails, bone protrusions.
Nailed it.
I just started the branch that it's hanging on, and I'm undecided about what I'm gonna do for the background, so that'll come later.
Okay, I added some horseshoes, also a symbol of good luck. Oh, and I painted the rabbit. I can't wait to get the glare in the eye done.
So I did have a collaborator on this project with me. There he is. I did the illustrations for this and was working on words, but luckily my husband, artist in his own right, helped me with crafting the words that went with it.
The plan is pig's feet. Pig's feet. I'm going to kind of illustrate a recipe for jellied pig's feet, which I've never eaten before, but is apparently a Polish thing, and I'm Polish, so there's a little bit of a connection there. I'm also a fan of nose to tail eating, so utilizing all parts of the animal and kind of eating weird stuff. So
This is some 21st century brilliance.
I'm finding an entry point into connecting to this animal feet prompt. Oh my gosh. The plan is to paint and put in some graphic elements that I'm fond of. So things like text or more of an illustration like background. And that's what I have right now. This is a figure it out as I go moment.
So this is my workspace here. I have my felting foam, my piece, my needle you can see is parked into my felting foam, and all of my wool just kind of in a plastic bag there. Most of it is Malabrigo, and it's a merino wool that's hand dyed. Some of it is clover and a commercial dyed, and some of it is natural alpaca. But what we're also going to do is sew this in here so we can put a stick through it. Do you think that's a good idea? Okay. What do you think about this? Good or not good?
Not good. Ooh, uh-oh. I can't believe my eyes.
So I'm really feeling really good about this challenge. I really like how my painting is coming along. I'm happy with it. Sometimes when I'm painting, especially in the beginning, I don't know where it's really going, but I feel really good about it. I really like it. I like the idea, and I love that it has bright colors because I know Regina especially loves color.
Hey, my name's Kendall. My mom and dad wrote a book. My dad rated it and my mom drew the pictures. I like it so much. The pictures look very, very nice.
Today is D-Day, due day for the animal feet artwork. And I was up late burning the midnight oil, working on it. Today it's in post-production, so I'm going to add words to the page, but I'm not going to handwrite. I'm going to try and make it look legit so that I can send it off to the publisher and make millions. It's a lot of work. A lot of work.
How's it going for you? Oh my gosh. I want to say all the curse words right now. That looks incredible. Oh my gosh, Katie.
Welcome, contestants. This week is the judging for animal feet. We're excited to see what you guys have in store.
First, we have Ann Cookitz. She's a Spunky middle school teacher at Eyre.
Okay, so I assume that Ginger and
Regina, I'm assuming that you'll get to look at the slideshow. So you can look at that little clip that I just tried to play, and the volume wouldn't go because I want to keep moving along here. Everybody can hear me, right?
I can.
Yes. All right. Animals have feet, you know? By Ann and Dan Cookets. Our feet take us where we want to go. Shopping, playgrounds, stomping in snow. Schools and restaurants, friends' houses too. But what in the world do animal feet do? Birds use their feet to perch on branches. Horses use feet to run around ranches. Cheetahs have feet that move really fast, and some lizards have feet that stick to the glass. Hamsters use their feet to spin a wheel. Incidentally, I think it kind of looks like this hamster has gas, but we're still going. We're still going. While some naughty monkeys use their feet to steal. Squirrels use their feet to hide nuts in the ground. And mice use their feet without making a sound. Kangaroos use their feet to jump in the outback. Wolves use their feet to keep up with the pack. Foxes dig a burrow using only their feet. Animal feet do all sorts of things that are neat. Regina, some dogs have paws that learn to shake.
He's cute.
And ducks have feet for swimming in lakes. Cats use their claws for playing with string. And animals use feet for all kinds of things. Paws and claws, talons and more. Animal feet are a thing to explore. That's it.
Wow. Nice. Very nice.
Can I ask a question real quick? Is
Sure.
like these are just like little tiny images right now, though. Each one is a small one, right? I mean, it's not full size. You would print it, but it's not full size. As you drew it, was it full size?
Yes. Well, you'll see in a minute. I'm going to show you. I actually put it into the book format.
Okay.
And then I can show you, and then you'll see, like in the book format that I'll share with you, you can look at the images closely, like the full-size images, because I scanned all of the hand drawings onto the computer.
And so what is a full size, Anne?
I
don't, oh, there, I see it now. Okay. Yep. It came. Okay.
So,
got it.
That size. So yeah, I hand drew all 22 of them. I didn't do them on the computer. I hand drew them and then put them onto the computer.
In your spare time?
And then you scan them into.
In my spare time.
How did you choose the number of pages? You have, because you had 22, you said?
I had 22 illustrations. So I think it was one per page. So like if it was a board book, it would be like 11 pages. So when I was researching how to draw a children's book, like how to write a children's book, they said that the publishing site I looked at said ideally you want no less than 22 pages and no more than 26 pages.
Okay. I'm just curious as how you came to that number.
Yeah.
And did your children help you pick the animals?
No. But when I woke up at 2 a.m. and had this thought, like, I'm going to do a children's book, it resonated so much because this really is where I am in my life right now. Like,
yes,
I am in this children's book right now. So that's, you know, art, life informs art.
So next up, we have Lexi, our Zen graphic design and art history teacher at Emmaus High School.
So one passion of mine is the culinary arts, and I would say cooking, but it's really more so eating. So when I was thinking of animal feet, I kind of went a little bit of a different route, and mine would make for a really dark children's book, I think, but I went towards food, as usual. So Chris and I have been interested in what's called nose to tail eating, which is like using all parts of the animal so that nothing goes to waste. So we, on our honeymoon, we actually ate at the restaurant that popularized this form of restaurant, the nose to tail restaurants, which is St. John in London. And then my husband's uncles, they also actually raise pigs. So most of our pork products come from them. And they also like put to use like all parts of the animal. So when I was thinking about which animal to focus on in terms of food, I went to pig. So I focused on pig's feet. The patterning ends up being noses for the top part, pig noses, and then pigtail curlicues for the bottom. So this is my final painting.
So the background is, those are individually drawn and painted. You didn't do any kind of stamping technique.
Correct.
Just, okay. All right. And speak to me about the garlic.
We're both Polish. So I made this like Polish sour soup that had to like ferment for 3 days before we ate it. And I was looking, when I was thinking about going the food route, I was thinking about any Polish recipes, if there are Polish recipes. So it kind of ties in to my heritage there a little bit. I haven't actually made this dish, but this was the thing that kept coming up in my research was Polish jellied pig's feet, which calls for onions, garlic, and pig's feet.
Okay, got you.
It's easier for me to create when there's like a personal aspect to it. And I struggled with that a bit throughout this week, kind of coming up with the idea. So I would say I finally had the idea on Thursday, and that's it. And then I spent the entire time on Thursday painting this. So it was really like thinking, and trying to find an entry point into this prompt, because although I was excited at the beginning, I actually really struggled with it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Good job.
Thank you.
I'm going to introduce Katie. She's our spirited crafts teacher at Emmaus High School. We're super excited.
Hi, everyone. So this week I really I didn't have so much trouble coming up with an idea, I think, as Anne and Lexi, mostly because I knew I wanted to do needle felting. So I was trying to think of the purpose of feet for animals other than just walking or transportation. And one of them that I landed on was like holding or clinging on to something. And that a sloth, their main thing that you see them as is holding on to a branch. So I wanted to show just the feet of the sloth instead of showing the whole sloth, because this is really just about animal feet. So the background and the tree branch are supposed to be more traditional colors to make the sloth stand out more. So here you can see my process of needle felting, going through showing the actual feet and then adding the background. And the very last image, I always have to take an image of the back of the piece looks like too. So that's the bottom right. So that's kind of my process. It took me most of the week to create this piece. It's okay, Lexi, you can go to the next one.
All right.
And what's the size of this piece?
It's actually behind me. Probably 6 by 10.
Okay.
So it's right here.
And what-
right on my head.
And the display of it, you just wanted to make it part of the actual tree too, that it was, or show that aspect. Am I correct?
So Lexi and I got together on Google Meet and we talked about our pieces. And one of the things that she asked me is, well, how are you going to present this? And I was like, I didn't even think of that. So then I started thinking about how I was going to present it. And I ended up backing it with some undyed woven wool that I had purchased. I didn't make the wool. And then I added the green wool on the top.
I think that the legs have a great look of depth to them, though. I mean, when you see the final piece, they really do have nice
Oh my
form,
God.
which I think is hard with the felting.
Thank you. It's a process that I've been working on for years.
All right. I'm good with that.
Okay, thank you.
Got it.
Me too.
Thank you.
Last but not least, we have
Hey, Trace.
Tracy, our funky AP art and painting teacher.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to present my animal feet prompt. At first, when I watched the video and I saw the wheels spinning around and animal feet was the choice, everybody was like, "Woo, yay, animal feet!" And I was like, "Oh, what can I do here?" So, of course, I wanted to do another series in my abstracted memory. So I started with the background, and I started with a Lone Star because of Texas and the Lone Star State. So a star was the first thing that came to me. And I also have symbols of horseshoes that represent luck and things like that. So I did a little painting of a rabbit head in the focal point, and then I have the chain, a little like, line of the rabbit feet. So you could show the last slide, and I think it'll show my final painting. That's my final painting. So you have the rabbit and the star in the focal point. You have all the 7 different colors of the rainbow in the rabbit's feet. And it is 12 inches wide and 24 inches long.
Okay.
Did you just use, what did you use, Trace?
I used acrylic paint. I have just the primary color. I had a bottle of yellow. I have a green, blue, and a red. And that's it.
Is it on canvas board or is it on
It's on a stretch canvas. Yeah.
Okay.
I stretched the canvas.
Okay. All right. I don't have any more questions. Thank you.
All right.
Do you,
Nope.
Ginger?
I
think this is harder than last week.
Okay. Oh my God. This is tougher. Much tougher.
Because they all went in.
They're all in a different
ways.
direction.
Yeah.
That's right. That's what I just said.
I love.
Okay, so the
ands that it's a functional item. That is functional.
Yep.
Ands.
On Anne's, she didn't do just one animal, and she observed and then gave a characteristic of what that foot.
Did she go to what the prompt said?
Well, her illustrations were really, really well done. And it's different that she collaborated with Dan, but not in a negative way. It worked so well.
Right. Okay, let's move on and talk about Lexi's a little bit.
Feet.
That also is supposed to be, I guess that one is supposed to be functional, but doesn't come across as much as being functional because it's a single one. But she said it could be an illustration for a recipe book.
Yeah, and I that would be a really interesting book to see the image of how the recipe, the ingredients for the recipe. I've never heard of that before. It's a different way of eating, and it shows it very well.
And then Tracy's is that personal connection to her painting and doing a series of work.
Katie's connection was that's her medium. She loves that medium, and she worked so well on it. And the finish was perfect. The way she talked it out with her, so much better with the tree branch as the top piece. The only thing, and I think we both saw it, the dark green was a little distracting for me, and I think that's because it's the image coming up, and we were both trying to ask the same question at the same time. Is there a repetition of that green in it? Because my eye kept wanting to go there. I don't know if that worked, but the rest of it was absolutely wonderful.
Okay, I was trying to just find here again what our 2 thing is. So there's nothing with that, but the things that we're judging is what I'm trying to see what we're judging. Because one is creative bravery. Do you remember what the other one was? And how well they answered the problem of the prompt. What it was.
Prompt,
yeah.
there was no problem
So then
with
do
any
we
of
need to
them.
throw something different into it as we look at them all and compare them? Is there something else that we should throw into our evaluation in trying to eliminate a person?
I think we're going to have to do that because they're all so wonderful. It's hard.
Yeah, they're all, I mean, again, there's not a single one that doesn't answer the problem. It isn't creative in some way.
Right. What's the main purpose of it? Is it just, so I see Katie and Anne showing movement, but then I saw the movement in Tracy's, the way she spaced all the different rabbits' feet. You know, it kind of went around.
Yeah, and I think that's where she definitely uses the element principles in her painting.
Yeah. Eliminate.
And again, it's not, none of this is easy, but we've got 2 minutes here, so we've got to make a decision and we've got to rank them this time. So,
oh, I know this is a real tough one. Do you know what this is like looking at you girls? Freaking, you all worked with us, under us for all these years. This is the most difficult thing to have to do because you're all so wonderful.
Ginger, if you vote me off, think about all the work I did for you student teaching.
Are we ready to hear?
We're ready.
All right, Regina and Ginger, take it away.
All right.
All right, I'm starting
I'm
because she's
going to go first and you can go last, Ginger.
No.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
The winner is Tracy. And the reason is we both agreed on the fact that we thought the rabbit foot was really different way to approach it because it's an object, and we just really liked the way that she chose something like that. Because I guess in my mind, I was just thinking it would be a foot. You know, somehow you would draw a foot, or somehow you would use multiples of a foot, or you would do something with a foot, you know. But I thought that we both said that we really liked the way that she took the rabbit foot, and we really loved the way that all the different elements and principles are used really well in the painting itself. And we also like the personal aspect that it's part of her series. So that is...
The dreamlike quality was right there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Ginger is going to do the second one. Second place.
It's not second place. They're all first place. We decided on Anne because it's just Anne inside and out. It's her life. She thought about a couple of things that I said to Regina were that, you know, what's the purpose of a foot? You know, it's transportation, it's movement, and it's not only captured in one foot, it's captured in all 22 images and the different animals. And we do like the collaboration.
Okay, now this is where we had much difficulty between our replacements.
Yeah.
We're going to say goodbye to Lexi, not because we wanted to again. Ginger speak up.
No, it's very, very difficult because you both used different mediums, but there was similarities in the movement in the pieces. Like yours went from the vegetables to the feet, but then so did Katie, but she climbed the tree. Your ink was so beautiful, illustration. It's really very, very hard.
And I think that what plays to our hearts is the creative bravery, since that's one of the things that we had to look for of doing something in fiber and felting. So again, they're both beautiful, but I guess if we're looking at the things that we were supposed to answer or grade upon, the prompts, you all went to the prompts, but we're going to choose, because it's Ginger and I, probably the needle and the felting, because to us, that is creative to go outside of that drawing and painting. So
I agree with you all. I agree with you. Please don't feel bad about this. I'm good.
Yeah. So we went
From winner to loser. So
yeah. How about it?
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it! I won the challenge! Unreal. I can't believe a childhood memory about the rabbit foot. It all came through and I won. That's crazy. Bye.
Tracy was the winner. Great painting. Very signature Tracy. I feel like mine wasn't received the way I thought it would be. I thought it was a super creative risk to write a children's book, especially since I never have before. It wasn't safe. It wasn't what I'm used to doing. And I don't feel like that really gained much acknowledgement from the judges. So I'm still in the game, still, hanging in. I was a little discouraged yesterday because it was a lot of work to do that children's book.
Well, I've been eliminated. I am disappointed, but I'm disappointed in myself. I did not manage my time well at all this week. I waited until the last second to come up with an idea, and I think it showed. I think it showed in the overall work. So I understand, and I'm super happy that the other makers all made it. I would have felt a little guilty if I had been pushed through this week. All right, then we're going to draw next week's challenge for our remaining 3 contestants. And
all right, I'm gonna spin the wheel. And can we see?
3 people have to work.
Ready? So it's Heritage Self-Portrait Week.
It's Heritage Week. Artists are going to dive into their personal histories and create self-portraits that reflect an aspect of their heritage. A self-portrait does not have to be an actual self-portrait. It could be an abstraction of a self-portrait. As usual, you're welcome to use any materials on hand, and the judges will be focusing on clear communication and connection to your personal history. Get to work!